Last time on Perle, we took a detour from France in order to visit the beautiful Channel Islands of Alderney, Guernsey and Jersey, before heading back to France and taking on the dreaded Bay of Biscay. We sailed along the coast and as such got to visit some of the most beautiful places. In La Rochelle we said goodbye to our first crew before taking the final stretch in an overnight sail in order to get to Spain. This will be our view for the next 8 to 10 hours. And by daylight we had made it in to Spanish territory. And Spain is where we are going to take you this time. From the starting point, in the small town of Bermeo, where the checking in was a self-service business, and the tapas just what we needed, to the dreaded reality of now entering into ORCA territory. It's getting a bit too real now. We left Finisterre yesterday morning, and a boat followed close behind us, and they were attacked by orcas, and the boat was being towed. Before that, we take on our next crew, Trine and John, colleagues and friends from back home in Denmark, and together we sailed the beautiful Spanish north coast. Though it would be a nice picture to paint, we cannot claim that it was all blue sky, sunshine and calm seas all the way. This crew also got their fair share of bad weather and not ideal sailing conditions. But that is an honest representation of sail life. At least we weren't alone out there. It doesn't look like much, but we have average winds of 30 knots and gusts way into the 30s. The Genoa is filled in, just tiny cloth as a storm jib. And on a really foggy day, we had to make it into one of the tiniest marinas ever, with shallow waters and huge sandbanks. It was a marina that wasn't often visited by tourists, so we were kind of a local attraction, and one of the local men, who was kind enough to help us dock Perle, documented our arrival. It's a shame that not many sailboats make it to this town, because it is absolutely worth a visit. And we say that even though we had a bit of an unfortunate meeting with some Spanish meat that kept us on Perle for a few days. Back on our feet and well rested, it was time for us to start navigating our way out of the marina, the sandbanks and the shallow waters. Continuing on west, we made it to A Coruña, which was kind of a milestone for us, because it meant that we had completed the Bay of Biscay And that just happened to be on day number 80 of this adventure. How fitting is that? And then, for the first time in what seemed to be a very long time, we could start heading south again. After a short stop in Fisterra, it was onwards to Muros, where we unfortunately had to say goodbye to Trine and John. We hope you enjoyed your stay on Perle and look forward to sharing more adventures with you in the future. It's getting a bit too real now. With our southern course, we were now right in the center of ORCA territory. Supposedly there are really so many of them in this area. We're going out and we have 3 boats that are going together. Not that it'll prevent any attacks, but it's nice to have buddy boats. So yeah, we're leaving now and fingers crossed. So we left the dock, left the marina, and we are now heading out. It is stressful. Because we know they're out there, we don't know where they are. I'm just going to show you the ORCA preparations that we have made. Down here we have 2 buckets full of sand. Because some people are saying that orcas by instinct will protect their blowhole. So tossing sand towards the blowhole would maybe make them want to disappear. We're wearing our life jackets. Usually when it's calm waters like this, we don't always put on our life jackets, but in this situation we do. And then we have here, we have our harnesses so that we can attach ourselves with the harness and to the boat. So reduce the risk of sliding into the water or falling over. We have this huge wrench, I don't know what it's called, a tool thingy, and a big one that supposedly other people are saying that if you bang this really hard on the rudder or the thing from the rudder that goes into the boat, it'll make a horrible noise that the orcas won't like. Don't know if that's true either. So we're doing a little bit of everything that we've heard. We have no evidence, there is no evidence as to what works. So bodyboating with the French boat that's right behind us. All the precautions that we are trying to take or make in regards to the orcas are all things that are in no way harming the animals, because we don't want to harm these beautiful creatures. We just want them to stay clear of our boat. Other than that, it is a beautiful morning. Trying to enjoy that, trying to take that in, even though it is a scary day. This is Perle 3. Do you copy? Over. We are 3 boats that are sailing together, and the first boat just reported on the VHF that they were hit twice by orcas. They are a steel boat, so they're a bit stronger than we are, so they are continuing on because they haven't lost any steering. We are returning to port, as is the French boat that is behind. We are back at where we started, the same marina. We decided to turn around and go back. and we've just been having a coffee with our buddy boat, our next door neighbor. They're back as well, and just to make a plan as to what we are going to do from here. We don't know yet if we are going to go out later today or wait until tomorrow before we give it a second try. It is recommended that you stay on the 20-meter line, which means that don't sail further out into the ocean than with a depth of 20 meters. We decided to give it another go later that day and stayed well within the recommended 20-meter line. It was a nice sail and we made it safely into the next port. In Denmark, we have a saying that goes a little bit like this: there is nothing so bad that it isn't good for something. And that is also the case with the ORCAs, because having to buddy boat means that we get to meet new people and make new friends, as is the case with the buddy boat Altair and her lovely crew, Sanna and Olivier. We ended up sailing together for several weeks, riding out not one but several storms. The first one in Biona, just north of the border between Spain and Portugal, where our beloved cockpit tent caved in under the pressure of some really heavy winds, but with the aid of Olivier, we managed to get it all down safely. But boy, did Perle feel exposed without her tent. After the storm had passed and the cockpit tent reattached, it was time to get moving again, leaving Spain behind and entering into Portugal. And Portugal is where we're going to take you next time. The coast of Portugal, besides being just as beautiful as the coast of Spain, is also a continuation of the reality of being on constant lookout for orcas. So now we are 3 boats sailing very close together, and everybody is on edge. Supposedly orcas have been spotted just a few minutes ago. Fortunately, there is so much more to the Iberian Peninsula than orcas, and Portugal has so much to offer. We get to see the beautiful town of Porto, visit the place of the world's biggest waves, and we get to go explore an award-winning gin distillery where we got to meet some like-minded beings. And on that happy note, we will be finishing off this episode. If you have enjoyed this video, it would mean the world to us if you would consider subscribing to our YouTube channel. Other than that, as usual, until next time, be safe, take care.